The full moon came to rest in the sign of Scorpio this week, a sign which is very much related to this intuitive knowing. I was pondering this idea of intuition and how for a long time my perception of my own intuition felt very muddied, trying to discern the difference between what is my intuitive deep knowing and what is simply a trauma response or me acting out of fear. And the more I kind of sat with this question to myself, the more I started to realize that the moments where I feel very connected to my intuition is usually when I have been very connected in with Source. Time spent in meditation, in my yoga asana practice, in breath, and in nature. I started to realize that perhaps my intuitive knowing less comes from me and more comes through me. The more I can be an open channel, an open vessel to receiving the messages that keep me led on this divine path, that keep me walking towards my Dharma, my truth. And intuition almost becomes less about me and more about my drive to complete my goal here on this earth, here in this life.
This is such an insanely beautiful morning. Holy. I wouldn't usually come out on like a super overcast day. I saw the moon this morning and I was just like, oh my god, I'm sorry, I gotta go. I gotta go film the moon because it was peeking out from behind the clouds and it was this beautiful full moon and it was really misty out, and I feel like misty days out here, it feels like I'm in some sort of weird fairy tale land. It just seems like ethereal and otherworldly. And I was hoping to catch like the moon just like peeking out like over the water behind a cloud. And it's full moon in Scorpio glory. Oh god, so stunning. Hello. Sitting down in the office, about to get some work done. This is honestly most of this here. This situation here is like most of my day to day. At the moment it is. I feel like when I don't have as many weddings to edit, I can definitely get out and about like way more often. As of late, sitting down and just editing at the computer has been my life. So that's why I really like to kind of indulge in my morning routine, because kind of once I get seated down here, this is me for the next couple of hours. I really enjoy it. One of the things that I really love about my job as a wedding photographer is it allows me to kind of really sit in both my extroverted and introverted energies. I'm quite ambiverted, so I feel like both being around people and being in my own space I find equal value in. And so like with weddings it's really cool because on the weekend I can go out and I can shoot and I can be like surrounded by 100 people that I don't know and just be like having good banter with people and just enjoying that connection. And then when I come home, I can just be in my own space, sitting in front of my computer, editing away, doing what I love on my own time, on my own schedule. So it's just kind of like the perfect job for me.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by, it doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown.
I've got myself a peppermint and licorice tea. It's my absolute favorite. It's a beautiful, drizzly, rainy day, and I can't think of anything better to do right now than to take you through some of my favorite spiritual yogi books that I just have absolutely loved, that have really elevated, accelerated, initiated my awakening, my spiritual journey. Okay, so this is in no particular order. This is just some books that I've read in the last year or so that I feel like have just been kind of transformative for me. The first one I'm going to start with actually is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. I feel like this was kind of one of the first ones that I read post YTT. The preface, he kind of talks about how this book is essentially made and designed to either initiate or to accelerate your awakening. This book had so many downloads that I received from it that really changed my life. One of the biggest ones that really stuck with me and that I think I'll carry with me for the rest of my life is the concept of inner purpose and outer purpose, which isn't a new concept. It's kind of correlating to like Dharma. Your inner purpose is your Dharma, it is awakening, consciousness, and your outer purpose is the act of manifestation. So it's like what you do in this physical body while you're here. So your outer purpose could be, you know, like your work, your relationships, your hobbies, and kind of like your purpose, your driven purpose to like make the world a better place. But like that purpose is like, it's more powerful when it's connected to your inner purpose and when it's driven from your inner purpose and when your inner purpose is your like primary focus. And so kind of learning about that in this book was a bit of a game changer. It was around the same time where I was going through quite a big pivot in my career and my life's journey and my outer dharma, if that makes sense, and my outer purpose. And so it really struck close to home because I was in a place where I was like, what am I doing? What's my purpose here? Do I even have a purpose here? And then I realized like, my purpose is so much more than just the job that I'm doing. It's so much more than what I can like give to the world. It's actually more about like how I can awaken my inner consciousness and be more and do less. New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, definitely a fave from the last year. Has a special place in my heart for the rest of my life, I think. Second one, Tantra Illuminated. Oh, even just holding this book, I feel just like so dropped into being and into divine when I just hold this book. This is a beautiful explanation of what Tantra actually is. Just don't understand how it got limited to such a small and very misconstrued idea of the fullness of what it is, because essentially it's everything. It's like divine living in all things. It's such a powerful book, and just this entire read I had so many moments of just deep knowing. It was like I was remembering a part of myself, and such a beautiful book to really just pull out from you the divine innate nature of your being. I want to read just a little bit from here. I feel like it's better if you read it on your own though. So if you do get this book, I really suggest that you find a quiet place when you read this page, and just like let each word just reverberate into your being and just feel it. But I'll read you a little bit here that was kind of like, yeah, the whole thing is amazing, but I'll read you a little bit. Willing, knowing, and acting comprise the totality of individual experience as well, thereby triggering a recognition that one's real identity is that of highest divinity, the whole in every part. This experiential insight is repeated and reinforced through various means until it becomes the non-conceptual ground of every moment of experience, and one's contracted sense of self and separation from the whole is finally annihilated in the incandescent radiance of the complete expansion into perfect wholeness. This is kind of like a page that I always kind of come back to when I feel like I need to remember my sense of self. And it just always makes my body tingle. It makes the spirit within me feel like it could just like flow out of this vessel. And yeah, I just love this book. I think it's beautiful. If you are interested in Tantra, I highly recommend it. Eastern Body, Western Mind. This was a book that I got after YTT when I really struggled to sit with the chakra system or the more energetic body. And I was starting to kind of get into more energetic side of things. I was starting to kind of feel into my own energy body, and I just kind of needed something to help like guide that and to help give me a more tangible approach on the chakra system. It does an amazing job at correlating your chakra system and your psychological development into one. And honestly, this book kind of felt like therapy. Dives into a lot of psychology in relation to the chakra system, which I thought was really cool. And for anyone that you're like maybe interested in learning a bit more about like the energetic body and like the chakra system, but every time you read something it just kind of feels a little bit out of reach, a little bit like kind of out in the air, this really brings it down to earth. It brings it into your body. After this book, I actually went on to read How the Body Keeps the Score, because it just made me so fascinated with how trauma is stored in the body, not just energetically speaking, physically speaking as well. So yeah, love this book. Love this book. My last book is the most recent one that I have been reading for the last like month and a half or maybe 2 months. This one, it's the Bhagavad Gita, or it's the essence of the Bhagavad Gita by Paramahansa Yogananda, as remembered by his disciple Swami Kriyananda. And this book has just been the most beautiful experience to kind of have the commentary throughout to kind of dive into some of the topics that if you are new to yoga and these more spiritual sacred texts, it makes it just a little bit more easy to digest as opposed to going to direct translation. I would love to read a direct translation now that I kind of have a grasp on like the symbolism of everything and what it's all kind of referring to and relating to. I'm definitely rereading this one over and over again. A lot of moments of deep knowing, of re-remembering source and self. It's just given me a different view on what God means within my spirit, and to connect with that has been super beautiful, and I can thank this text for that. I love it. I just love this book so much. Yeah. That's my favorite yogi books. But if you have any recommendations of what I should read next, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I would absolutely love to hear your recommendations as well. And to, just give me the goodies. I love reading these texts. So I would love to hear what you like reading as well. And with that, Pivot has arrived for me to go for your snuggle. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Too much. We're chill. Pip's like, I am 0 chill. I'm 100 all the time. Yeah, you're crazy, but that's what we got when we got ourselves a healer. And they were like, are you sure you want a healer? You know they have lots of energy. And we got this one. I don't want to wrestle because I'm gonna eat my shortbread and drink my tea, and it's such a beautiful rainy day. I've been waiting for the rain for so long, and it's finally here, and I am just a very happy gal about it. Yeah. Okay.